Today is July 1st, 2016. I'm going to do a front garden update. I'm going to start out here. With the garlic. Well, actually, it's cantaloupe now. Here, let's take a quick look. This used to be the garlic garden, and now we have two cantaloupe vines starting to grow. So actually they're putting on quite a bit of growth. Now the okra. This is dwarf okra. I'm expecting okra any week now. This is starting to get, it's starting to look like it should start to produce here. So here we have the okra. Now it's tomatoes. In fact, you can see some tomatoes growing through the fence here. You see those guys? I'm getting about, I would guess, I average about a gallon of tomatoes every day. And I try to give away a few pounds or a bag here and a bag there of tomatoes to my neighbors. Here, I want to talk about what's happening here in the Hobbit garden. The lettuce, you can see this lettuce here. I need to, look at that, starting to go to seed. I should pick some of those leaves to eat. Now, you may have remembered that I used to have peas right here. Now I've tore those down, and here in a little bit I will dig this up around this fence and plant something else there. One of these places I'm going to plant, like you see these vines, these peas aren't really producing anymore. So you can see they're starting to turn brown. And you can see the peppers that I planted. I'm not sure why that pepper's kind of fallen over. That doesn't look good. But most of them are slowly growing. Now, do you guys remember the Jerusalem artichoke? Look at that guy. Now, right in here, I had some rutabagas, and maybe I'll show you a picture of the last one I picked. It was 3 pounds, and look, these guys don't look too good. What were they called? Leeks. So the leeks aren't doing too good there. That's looking pretty, actually it's looking pretty green. It's a mixture of cabbage and kale. I think it's mostly cabbage. I know we have some broccoli in there too. So anyway, it's looking healthy. Now the peas, like I said, these will be, in fact I may do it even today. I'll rip these vines up, and then in the next couple of days I'll end up planting cucumbers and maybe some more peas, because I like peas. So I'll probably do a little bit, at least one row of peas, but I'm going to be putting in cucumbers here. So, of course, here I have still kale and a whole bunch of other rutabagas. Here, let me show you. If you look underneath the leaves, can we look in there? You see those rutabagas? Now it looks like that one's about a pound, and this other one maybe a pound and a half. I don't know if you can see it. Here, let me see. Can you see that? So these aren't as big as, yeah, that one's pretty big. You see that one there? Can you see it? Oh. You see that one? Those are getting closer to 2 pounds a piece, I would guess. So, anyway, the rutabaga, I've got some of it, I've frozen some, and I'm thinking about cooking some and putting it in with tomatoes and canning it. Can you believe that? Now, here, my bush beans, it looks like these guys are on their end. So Here in a bit, I'm going to pull up these bush beans. You see that? And then I'm going to replant more bush beans in here and other things. Maybe half of this is bush beans. So you can see that this is where the onions used to be. I've already planted, what, 6 sweet peppers. Those are Purple Beauty sweet peppers. Hopefully they do great. Now look, the corn and the pole beans on the corn. Oh, what a jungle. I had watermelon planted down below there, but I don't expect to see any watermelon out of that. So it's not a 3 sisters, but a 2 sisters. And here, you can see the corn's doing fair there, but look, my squash has been attacked by squash bugs. It's quite a disaster. Oh, do you guys see that? Now these beans here at the end, I actually had replanted maybe a month later. So they're still producing. You see that? Those bush beans, they give you a lot of beans per bush. So, but I'll harvest this and I'll pull these guys up too and replant them. But look, this squash has been terrorized. Let's see if we can, I killed some squash bugs earlier. And I hate squash bugs. They stink. They're kind of a stink bug. Let's see if I can find any. There's one little one. You see him? Itty bitty. My goal. Oh, there's a big one. Can you see him? Oh, I hate those guys. You see? Oh, look at those guys. Yeah, I'm trying to squish them with my fingers. And the big guy I didn't get. So, if you guys have any suggestions on killing squash bugs, please put them below. I need to. Anyway, it looks like I've sacrificed these squashes to the squash bugs. So, it looks like I'm not going to get any squash this year, which is kind of sad. Maybe I should try and replant the squash. It's not too late. Actually, I could get squash still if I would get on with it. So you can see the tomatoes. Can you see those guys? Look at those green tomatoes in there. So like I say, I should end up getting tomatoes all the way through until it gets winter. That's normally what happens at my house. I'll get tomatoes and then I'll get more tomatoes and I'll get more tomatoes. And the first few weeks of tomatoes I always try to give away. Oh, look at this. Do you see the bottom of that tomato? I think that I don't know what that's due to, but it may be because of a bird. But actually what I'll do is I'll wash it, I'll cut off the bottom, and it'll be actually a nice tomato. If it's, it'll actually taste pretty good. So I think I don't know what that's caused, but some of the tomatoes get that way. Okay, now look, you can see those peas. That doesn't look nice. But look, the pole beans, they're still looking very healthy. And look, can you see that sunflower that's so tall? So I'm not getting the sunflowers up in the front garden yet, but they're going to be nice when they do come. Oh, and look, the onions. I'm letting these go. These onions I started from little bulbs, and that's a weed. Let's get that guy out. And I actually have some carrots. I tried to plant carrots in among the onions. I don't know if it'll work, but it was a thought. And you can see this onion went to seed, but actually I planted this onion out. It was already a full-grown onion starting to go bad. And I actually planted it out on purpose to get seed. You see it down there, that onion? So this was an onion that I had inside that was, starting to get soft, and so I just planted it. to get seeds from it. At least that was my strategy, and it seems to be working. Okay, that seems to be the update. Let's look at these pole beans. Let's just glance a little bit and see. Oh, there are some flowers here. You see that flower? That's flowers. So they're still producing flowers. I was just wondering if I was going to get many more pole. Can you see the bean in there? I picked quite a few pole beans, and they've slowed down a lot on what they're producing, but at least here at the end there's some flowers. So it's not time. It's still time for keeping the pole beans. But maybe, I don't know, in a few weeks I might pull them down. We'll see. Once they start to turn brown. Oh, look at that flower. Oh, and this is a sunflower that is a volunteer. I've let it grow on purpose. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's a marigold. They're supposed to help with the bad insects in the garden. So I don't know if they are or aren't. Well, I think they are, actually. Even though I have a few of those squash bugs, on the whole, tell you the truth, I've had an excellent year with my produce on a lot of levels. Like as you can see, the tomatoes in there. I've already been giving out for the last, 2-3 weeks. I've been giving away tomatoes, at least 2 weeks. And I've had tremendous. I picked them up all these onions here, but the onions were really, really nice. Not huge, but very nice onions. And now I'm replanting, like I said, the peppers. Soon I'll be taking up the bush beans. You can see that they're starting to turn brown. So I'll be pulling those and replanting bush beans in there and other things. And in fact, I'm thinking about doing that for the 4th of July garden to see what I'll plant over the 4th of July. What I was hoping to plant over the 4th of July is, well, at least cleaning up the peas and then maybe planting some cucumbers. So anyway, so that's kind of, and you can see that cucumber, and that's a Jerusalem artichoke, that taller one behind there. And I did that on purpose right next to the greenhouse to help shade it. I knew it was going to get really hot this summer, and I was wanting something to shade it. So that's why, at least that's why the sunflower and the Jerusalem artichoke were allowed to grow right there. And can you see right in there? Boom, some flowers. And this is where I've been harvesting my rutabagas, and actually it's been amazing. And I also harvested maybe 10 onions in there too. So in that little area, I've actually already produced a whole bunch of produce, and I haven't decided what I'm going to plant back in there. Maybe some cauliflower. I have some small cauliflower plants that I might grow. Now you can see these potatoes. A lot of these guys should have already been potted up. Like these little little potatoes here, I should have potted up probably 2 weeks ago. And a lot of these other potatoes back in there should have been harvested. In fact, looks like they're starting to grow again. Look at that. But these potatoes I need to get around to. Now look at this kale, is always amazing me. I have a few things of kale here in the garden, and the truth is I don't know what to do with all my kale. I've got, when it's winter and there's not anything else green, then it's great to have kale to cut up and put in your stir fry and stuff. But now that I have all my tomatoes and things, I don't do much with the kale. So, and I was growing radishes in here, and you can see that I just let them go to seed. I've got all these radish seeds, and this is collards. And again, I've grown the collards, but I don't know if I'm gonna you know, I need someone who wants to cook them. But I need to have a plan for dealing with the collards, which I thought I was, you know, I thought I would probably, you know, cook them up and stuff, but I haven't yet. And you can see these two potatoes. This guy definitely needs to be harvested. Look, this is about 15 gallons of compost in this 20-gallon container. So anyway, it's ready. So maybe I'll do a video. Oh, look. Now I was letting this fill with, in fact, I didn't realize I had that much rainwater. So I've been letting this 35-gallon container fill as I did this video. And it's been filling from here. So we've had a little bit of rain over the last few days. Not a tremendous amount, but some. So I try to catch it. You see the rain pipe? I try to catch it down from the downspout. And then these two float together. These two rain barrels float together. And then I open the valve at the bottom and let it flow out into here. You can see that this is much lower. So when this gets full, there'll be about maybe a third of the barrels left with water, or maybe even less. So anyway, so that's my strategy for rainwater and watering, at least the greenhouse. I prefer it when the Lord is watering things for me. Oh, there's an onion in there, but look, broccoli. I probably need to freeze that broccoli. I think my freezer is actually getting full of green beans and peas and rutabaga. I've frozen a whole bunch of that stuff. So and actually potatoes. Oh, that's a whole nother story. Not for today. Okay, love you guys. I think that's enough. You guys have a blessed and happy 4th of July. God bless America and all Americans around the world. And may the word of the Lord run swiftly and be glorified. Amen. Bye-bye.